Welcome to Hort Culture, where a group of extension professionals and plant people talk about the business, production, and joy of planting seeds and helping them grow. Join us as we explore the culture of horticulture. Hello, plant people. Hello, friends of the pod. How's everybody doing today?
Good. You're as high energy as your shirt. So anybody not watching the video feed now is missing it. Alexis has on some sweet tie-dye swag.
I tie-dyed this myself, too.
You did.
So
is that for the podcast or is that the non-existent swag that we don't have? We keep talking about.
This is some other swag. Support your local farmer swag. I have from back in the day. So
love it.
Emma, when was the last time Emma that you tie-dyed something?
Probably when I was 12, but I did a really good job, very memorable. Couldn't top it, so I never did it again.
You peaked early as a tie-dyer.
I mean, you did. I mean, straight UK, one and done. That's how we roll here in Kentucky.
Wow. Okay.
Boyle County had like hardcore good tie-dye that they used for like 4-H camp and stuff like that. And when they would come back and they'd have leftover dye, we just like all show up with our like dingy whites that we wanted to color something else.
All their dirty t-shirts.
Have a tie-dye party. So I got some really good tie-dye that's like legit from that.
I love tie-dye.
I can never tell it apart from like Vietnamese dye and like Laotian dye
or some other ethnicity. We don't know.
I don't know the
Norwegian dye.
I don't know the regional variability, but
there's the Adobe version.
Nice.
The clay dyes. Yeah, the clay is super cool.
I appreciate that. Just channeling that tie-dye stuff. Well, you know what? It's summer, baby. So if you've not tie-dyed yet this summer, you know what? Go do it. Go do it. You know, the other thing.
Many summers have passed since Emma tie-dyed. So
many. I think it's maybe she's overdue. I think she's overdue.
Yeah, missing out.
You got those
grungy white things that you're like, this is stained, but it's super comfy, so I want to keep wearing it, but I shouldn't wear it in public. Tie-dye, baby.
Yeah, I also like it when you can tie-dye like bags and random other white stuff, so I might get into that. Not the shirt business, but the knick-knack.
Yep.
You're approaching it from a novel angle. You're going to corner the market on some novel angle. So, yeah, it's good stuff. It's very appropriate for midsummer. I feel like that tie-dye is.
Well, as you all, our listeners, can hear, we have a different voice, another female voice. Thank goodness. I've been without the feminine energy here for a little while. So, Emma, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Hey, everybody. So I'm Emma. I am actually an ag agent in Estill County, and I have only been at this for a little over 3 years, but I'm sure if you've seen the UK Houseplant page, you're very familiar with my voice. I have worn it out making those houseplant videos, and if you haven't heard it, please go like it. I'm begging. So thank you.
We will put a link in the show notes to that, but I love your videos and I watch them as a houseplant nerd, so I appreciate you.
Wait a minute. There's two different ones themed out. Emma reminded me at the very beginning of the show. There's the main page, and then there's a secondary page with a primary superstar, a fuzzy superstar. So yeah, more than one page.
More than one page. My cat runs the other one by himself. It's all the videos. He just records me. He just holds the phone. So
what's his name?
Yeah, his name is Pep.
Pep?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
so you're like so he's like the director. You're like the on-screen talent and maybe the executive producer.
Yes, he knows exactly what's going on. He just holds up the little cards, with the words, and records the video for me, edits it, posts it, whatever.
I like that.
That's some good teamwork right there.
I'm less familiar with this. So if you were to pitch this or explain this to someone, like what kind of stuff is on there, and I'm also interested in hearing like what made you start this in the first place.
So I started my master's degree shortly after I started working because I figured that's one of those things that's better done sooner than later.
Yes.
And now we're at the later part where I have the master's graduate project. So I figured, might as well pursue something that interests me, something I'm really into right now. And at that time, I had just started getting into houseplants. And now I'm in a deep houseplant pit, but at the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, let's buy all these houseplants because it's for content. We're past that. We're past that. And if anyone needs any plants, please let me know.
You're into the
see.
So you have
save
to
me
take care
phase
of
of
them
the
all.
project. Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many, but yeah, so there's a lot of houseplant information when you start digging into it. So when I was trying to get into stuff, of course, I have a horticulture background, a degree in it, but that's mostly like vegetables, and there's not a lot of emphasis on the indoor plants as much. So when I was digging around for information, it's that typical Facebook vibe where 5 different videos say, oh, you should do this. And then it's like, oh, you should never do this. And it's talking about the same thing. And so I was like, this is kind of something that's not been really touched too much. And
Mhm.
Extension, of course, has a presence on social media, but there's not as many just short little TikTok top length videos that are just quick, straight to the point for houseplants. And so my goal of this whole project was to first and foremost make those videos that are easy to access for houseplant people, straight to the point, because I don't like watching YouTube videos for very long if I need to know right now. Like, okay, just skip to it and tell me what I need to do. So I tried to provide that. And then, of course, there's 2 different Facebook pages. One that's kind of geared more towards just your friend, your neighbor, just kind of hearing it from someone that doesn't have a background in this. And then the other page that is more UK extension focused and kind of has the extension vibe, so to speak.
Well, as someone who does watch a ton of long form YouTube, how dare you?
On 4 times speed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How
They all sound like chipmunks on
dare you?
Brett's feed. Yes.
But as someone who
Long form video.
is into houseplants and appreciates the extension mission and knows that most of our clientele appreciate a short form video with good information, thank you. But I will not forgive you, but thank you.
We like a good
about-
12-minute introduction.
Yeah, this isn't about the plant hauls. I love watching those ones that are like an hour long. That's like, watch me water all my plants. This isn't about that. This is about stuff that you need to know right now.
No ASMR,
Yeah,
just
I love
straight
that.
to the point.
I love that. And if you actually watch videos, people will say things like, they'll say, thank you for no BS. No music, no, stupid voiceovers, just got straight to the point. Thank you. And there's like 1,000 comments that are like that. And so, I think that is the actual market for a lot of this informational
That's definitely the
stuff.
trend. Yeah.
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 So can you take us
videos?
So I actually, not, I guess it was this past year. My wife had kind of been into houseplants for a while. I keep bonsai, but outside bonsai.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let's get into some houseplants over the winter. And I found myself sort of, I wouldn't say necessarily overwhelmed, but inundated. I could see that my wife was getting overwhelmed, but I was excited by the volume of information. But where did you start? Like, is there an on-ramp for houseplant people as far as the species at first kind of, wigged me out a little because there were so many of them and they were so far outside of what I was used to. But I found that there are some that are like these on-ramp plants, and then start to make a mental map of the, light needs and all that kind of stuff. But I'm curious, like, if you're taking some noob like me and on-ramping us, what do you start with?
So my top picks, I know everybody says succulents are the easiest. I don't ever recommend that. I literally am on like a journey right now to learn how to keep them alive. And as someone who has like hundreds of houseplants, succulents are not my easy one. I think
No.
that it's hit or miss. You're either a succulent person or you're not. So you have to kind of look at that deep within yourself before you start. And if you're not a succulent person, things like Tradescantia that you can, basically try really hard to kill and it won't.
Mhm.
It'll persist through all conditions. I have one that I don't even think about, water, or care about. and it's still going. I'm like, okay, it's time to put it outside in the winter. But that is definitely some easy vining plants are always my go-to
Mhm.
for new beginners because I think seeing all those leaves grow that fast and you're thinking, "Hey, I just got a new leaf," and then you get the excitement and everything, and it kind of gets you into the houseplant hobby.
And so
Mhm.
that would be the Tradescantia that you mentioned would be an example of that.
Yes, or philodendrons. I'm trying to
Mhm.
think of the exact kind. The heartleaf philodendrons were one of
Mhm.
my first plants that I
Mhm.
was really excited about because it puts off leaves very quickly.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
so I like things that I can see a fast turnaround and make sure that I know it's healthy, there's new leaves, because that's my thing that I gauge everything off of. Is this putting off new leaves? And so that's what I started with, or spider plants, even.
Mhm.
Um, Aloe is not the vibe though. A lot of people do that. I can't keep
Thank
aloe
you.
alive.
Thank you. Listen, aloe is way more difficult. I have one that my aunt gave me and dug out from her like yard in Florida, and it's been slowly dying for probably 8 years now. It's not cute, but I still have it, and I'm like, what? Why do I still have this? But yeah, aloe. The other thing, um, air plants. Air plants are my kryptonite. I've said it
You're
before. I'll say it again. If
well,
it doesn't grow
you
in soil, I can't grow it.
your
Like,
problem
Right.
is you're trying to take care of it, and you shouldn't do that with air plants. You
well,
should
but
just
then I
ignore
forget
them.
about it completely, and then it's all shriveled up and dead. Like I
Well,
can't
you can't
win
put them
with
in the
them.
oven, Alexis. You shouldn't do
I,
that. I mean,
I,
but,
I
well, why do we see like I mean, I know there's social media. You've already kind of mentioned that you're on social media, but years ago, I mean, I would never see a succulent at a local box store. But now every single store that has a home and
mm,
garden center, and I love succulents, but they're not the easiest thing in the world because people try to love on them and take care of them, and then they, they have
also, your house is
issues.
not the desert. Like
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
just it's not the
Yeah.
desert.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But why do we see that? I mean, what's the rise of some of these things? And I know they're definitely not the easiest, just from personal experience of those.
Well,
Is it kind of
I have a
social
little bit of
media,
a
or
theory.
what's the theories here?
I have a theory of why in the
I need to
marketplace.
know. I need to
This
know.
is not.
To
This
make
is
some
sort
money.
of based a little bit on biology. I think that if you think about most people's ability or interest in taking care of a plant, and you
Mm-hmm.
put it at maybe like 4 to 6 weeks at most,
Mm-hmm.
there are certain plants that are kind of in. I mean, some of the really easy stuff that's going to make it that long, but the succulents can look that good and cute and hip for that long, even if they're dying. And so by the time it
They're
dies, you've
short
lost
form plants.
interest. And so it sort of like fits a nice little market niche of
Ooh,
as opposed to like if you don't water your peace lily for 6 whole weeks, you're probably gonna lose that.
peace out. Yeah.
Um, so that's one of my theories is that it's just supposed to be a consumable disposable good, unlike some of us who treat our plants like members of the family that we'll keep around
Most of
for.
my succulents are like 12, 15 years old. I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing
Yeah. Well,
on
I do
those.
like the idea of referring to there are succulent people and non-succulent people, and when I'm asked to describe my body type, I might refer to myself as a succulent person in the future. But
I would say I can do succulents. I can't do cacti.
okay.
Cactus are
Well, I'm curious.
different.
I am
Yeah,
curious what
yeah,
what makes
yeah.
Ray the succulent guy versus not. What do you think that is?
For me, probably I came to like this revelation. It's like, well, what was I doing wrong? The first 5, 8 years, it goes all the way back to Berea when I was there at college. I tried to grow the dumb things, and I didn't use any special potting soil and put them in just a container of deep soil. Way too much moisture all the time. And it's at some point a few years ago, I was like, well, how do these things grow in nature? Well, for me, it was using the correct soil, actually a well-drained soil with a little bit higher, a succulent soil, cactus succulent soil. They're really easy to get. And the number one thing that helped me out personally, it may be different for you, but was flood watering. When I water these things, I do it infrequently. I put it in the sink
Mhm.
and I just flood the thing. with water and
Get in
rinse
sync
them.
with it.
Yeah, get in there, get that water in there, and then that allows all the dead stuff to float up and out because once it dries, it floats out.
Yeah.
And I use gravel on the top of my succulents. I just always have. I want it to look like the desert. I want it to look cute. But between those two things, the right soil and flood watering, I mean, that's the trick for me. And then I don't water it again for a good period of time. It's
Where are
different
you
for
keeping it?
everybody.
What are you doing? Where are you?
South facing windows for my succulents. And in the summer, I put them out on the front of my home, which gets just the right amount of sunlight. It doesn't bake them out and cook them. But now my succulents, I treat as an indoor outdoor sort of plant that gets moved in and out. They just seem to do better when like Alexis said, our hot summers, and if the storm's coming, I will protect them a little bit. But yeah, as I move the things in and out, and there's lots of cool, like they're not the aloes Alexis talking about, which Alexis I find very hard to grow. The
Thank you.
traditional
I appreciate
aloe,
that.
but
Yes.
now the new succulent type aloes, they look like they're from another world, that are variegated
Yes.
red and spiky. I mean, even the Haworthias, that kind of looks like aloe, they're a little different, but I love all of those. But yeah, the right soil and flood watering. I mean, have you covered any of those, Emma, on your?
She said she's on a succulent journey. I'm
Yeah,
curious
I
what the
know.
journey
I
is
want to hear
yielding.
about this. I need some tips because they can be difficult to grow.
So I did one recently about basic succulent care because that's one of the fun things about succulents is everybody's like, oh, you never have to water them. And even if you do, just a tiny little bit. And I'm like, no, every
Mhm.
video I make is pure like hate mail. I'm like, hey, don't listen to these people. They're lying to
The
you.
feedback is all negative.
I mean, and they don't have to be watered very often, but when I do water them, I bottom water them maybe like once
Yeah.
every month, unless it's my ones that I put outside that I just remembered about, that I haven't watered in like 4 months, whatever. But they're out there, they're hanging on. I
Are they
only cover
thriving?
indoor plants, but yeah, so that's one of the big things is watering with succulents because you're not putting a dropper on there, you're soaking it,
Yeah.
but not very often,
Mhm.
unless you're my wonderful boyfriend who learned how to take care of houseplants through me going through this big houseplant journey, and he does everything almost the opposite of me, and he actually takes care of them, and his are so much better than mine, and I take all my dead ones to him as a rehab. And so I'm out here making these videos, and meanwhile I'm killing all the plants and then taking them to his house.
You're just figuring out what won't work so that you have good, feedback. It's good. It's
There
research.
you go,
Yes,
Alexis.
I'm
Positive spin. Yes.
I'm fostering these plants until they get to go to their forever home, which
Yeah.
is at
Yeah.
his house.
It
You're like,
sounded
I
like
can
he was
tell
a
you
sick
for certain
page.
that not watering it for 6 months is not the way to do it.
No.
Yes,
No,
I
you
have a
don't want that.
feeling those plants I forgot about on the back porch are going to be showing up on his back porch very soon.
And I see it's a lot, even commercially available, like big succulent pots. Like they have different plants in there that have completely different cultural requirements, different
Yes.
light, different moisture, but they stick them in there because they look pretty together. And I'm like, well, those are getting ripped apart, and I see that all the time
Yeah.
to this
Yes.
very day.
That's
Both
my
of them.
biggest rage when you go to a store or, you get like a gift basket of, plants or something like that. People will send them as gifts from like a florist or something, and it's like a peace lily in there with a philodendron in there with a
Mhm.
cactus, and I'm like, none of this goes.
Cactus, yeah,
Like, no wonder people fail.
Yes,
Well,
I
yeah.
I will
saw
just say one more
one.
time, it's not a good business model to sell someone a plant that's going to live forever.
Not
Right,
everything can be a snake
right.
plant.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
It
Yeah,
just
I
just like
saw a pot.
the dishwashers our grandparents have, or the washing machines our grandparents have that
No
lasted for
money in
like
that.
68 years.
No money
Not
in it.
a great
Good
business
point.
model. So
Yeah,
just saying.
they put the stupidest combo things. I saw one in Lowe's and it had an alocasia, which have to be like pretty moist all the time with
Very
succulents.
humid.
You're gonna kill everything.
No.
Like not
Yeah.
even just one or the other. It's all gone. It's all gone. Mush.
As far as succulent love, I mean, I see the appeal of that. I mean, first of all, if you search for it one time on social media platforms, like your algorithms are skewed forever. That's all I see now is dish gardens.
Mhm.
But for I see the draw on those because as I guess our population gets more urban, or it was at a point, I don't know if that's still the trend. But I mean, they don't grow. Most succulents don't have this huge growth rate. Some kind of do that would be classified as succulents. And you have this container, and you can have a tiny little miniature garden, and you could put a fairy in there, a bridge, and you could embellish it. So I totally see the draw of that, and they look wonderful on social media. And I still think that's the rise and interest of all of these things, dish gardens and succulents and all of that angle of indoor outdoor plants. But I can see it. They don't like grow crazy like you would a pothos or something that may grow and take over if you nap too long next to it. It may just crawl right over top of you.
I want it to.
Can I ask you a controversial question?
Oh, always.
She didn't say yes. She just sort of.
Oh, she's not going to say yes.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
asking
always
always
you a
ask me a
controversial question.
She said, "I might not answer, but you can ask."
Yeah, you can
You
I
can
can
ask.
give you a controversial answer. You can ask me.
to
Mm.
a seemingly innocuous question.
Yes, for this really loaded dice.
We were looking for. Are there any popular plants? And this is not easy or hard to take care of. Whatever. Any popular houseplants that you are just like, nah, not for me. Ugh,
Overrated.
dislike that. Overrated.
Now
basic,
we're meddling. I love it.
What other judgmental words your words,
Just
not mine.
plants you don't like. They may be good plants, but you have a bad attitude towards them.
There are one. Do you all know the prayer plants, Calatheas?
Mhm.
Everybody loves those and thinks that they're so cute. And I'm like, have you ever had one? Because they are the hardest, most dramatic things to take care of. Honestly, mine were hanging on by a thread, and I think they're cute and everything. But I mean, if you look at it wrong, like it's like leaves immediately down on the floor. And so I have a Pac-Man frog, and the only way that I got these things to live is to plant them in the tank because he has a little bioactive tank, got to have all
Oh,
the
that's
stocks
so
here.
awesome.
But his little plants are in there, and of course, they're perfect. Like, I'm going to have to take them out of the tank. And when I put them in there, they were like this tall, and now they're busting through the lid.
Now they're thriving.
So,
Yeah,
the very
they
quick
love to
side-
like brown, don't they? They're
Yeah,
just like, the humidity's not exactly 85%,
Yeah.
so brown.
Looking
Fire
cute,
outer
we die
ring
today.
going. So do you, in the bioactive tank, do you have like the little arthropods and other little things in there?
No.
Well, you said what else goes into that tank?
So he used to have his little isopods, and
Isopods, I meant, sorry.
that was very tragic, and they are no longer with us.
Mm.
But there are springtails in there
Cool.
that clean up stuff. And I mean, you can open the tank, and if there was anything left over, like a little crumb of food or something, springtails everywhere, just doing
That's
their thing.
So awesome.
And it's amazing because usually you have to, which Pac-Man frogs, I don't know how they live in nature. They're just,
I think they eat ghosts.
I'm holding the food in front of his face for like 30 minutes every time I feed him, and he's just like, no. And then he tries to bite me. I mean, he hasn't eaten in like 3 months because he hates me.
Oh, buddy.
So I just let him be free, hang out. But yeah, he has his little plants, whatever.
For those who aren't initiated, could you just give a real quick explanation of what a bioactive enclosure for an animal is?
Absolutely. So I'm big into exotic pets. I have tarantulas, everything that anybody's scared of. Basically, I've got one in a tank. But bioactive tanks are great options for pets because it kind of mimics their natural ecosystem and habitat. And it's a lot of money sometimes to get the initial bulk started, but it pretty much takes care of itself. So when you have a bioactive tank, you've usually got like carbon, or charcoal is what I'm thinking of.
Almost like a biochar granule kind of thing.
Yes, those little granules in the bottom. And then like I use coconut fiber for all of my tanks. And then you put plants in it. You put some kind of decomposer in it, whether it be isopods, springtails. I think there's some other options that I'm not thinking of off the top of
some
my
sort
head.
of a little low on the like a saprophytic kind of low on the uh,
Totem
food
pole.
chain, totem
Yes.
pole, decomposer kind of thing.
Yes. So whenever you get food anywhere, the waste of whatever pet it is, those immediately go clean that up. Because if you don't have it bioactive, you're going to be, it's kind of like cleaning a cat litter box, except it's a frog. And so you have to get in there and manage everything and change the dirt completely, like super often, which is a lot harder than you would think. I don't like doing it. And that's why I made it bioactive. But
That's so
yeah,
awesome. And you've actually integrated some plants into it as well, which some people do that. Then it's kind of like this circle
Little
where the
ecosystem.
plant
Mhm.
makes waste and the things decompose it or eat it or whatever and turn that into then this nutrition for the plant and the water cycle is also kind of happening within the enclosure. Man,
Oh,
that's
wow.
so cool. That is so cool, Emma.
yeah, and it's a great option for houseplant people because it was more like, oh my goodness, the decor for these tanks, why am I having to cut my arm off to pay for, like a little rock hide for a frog? I was like, actually, I can just take a cutting off of a couple different plants. And I mean, I literally just took a cutting and stuck it in there, and the humidity and conditions that certain things are in, which you would have to kind of look and see which pets you have. If it's more deserty, then you would need different things, obviously. But the Pac-Man frog, very humid, very nice and warm in there. And so the plants go wild and it's basically free minus your original plant cost.
Man, that's
Just
awesome. So in other words, the bioactive maybe changed your mind on the Calathea.
I still feel very strongly about the Calathea.
Not
It's just
really, in
doing its own
summary.
thing now.
Not
I
How
really.
about you all? Do
sacrificed
you all,
it.
Ray or Alexis? Do you all have a like
I mean, it
plan?
almost sounded like as you were talking here, I mean, lower life forms, but like the old bigger scale terrariums. I mean, that you would create the whole ecosystem minus, frogs and higher life forms. But it sounded a lot like that I was into, several years ago. I mean, to get a terrarium actually up and working and get the atmosphere in there and water recycling is kind of difficult, but it's kind of cool what you're talking about, Emma and Brett, the conversation you guys were having, because you have those higher order life forms in there,
Mhm.
frogs and things, and it's kind of cool. And the lid comes on and off there as you need to maintain that, so you don't have to worry about that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, good deal.
My nah plant would probably
Oh,
be
yeah.
alocasias.
Mm,
I don't really get the hype. Feels like a lot of work for
I
something. I
don't
mean,
get it.
like there's some cool ones. There's some like sweet black one, like leaf ones, like black velvet looking ones, but I just don't want something that difficult. Like I don't want to try that hard. And I have a lot of houseplants. Like
Yeah, I'm gonna have to quote Brett on that one. First of all, how dare you?
First of all, how dare you?
Alocasia is my baby, and I have all of them.
nice.
Wow.
I like it. I'm here.
Wow.
I support you. It's
I
just
can feel
I
the
don't want to
tension
try that
developing
hard.
in the room.
Do they look good? No, absolutely not. But the thought was there, and I can see their potential if I actually water them.
Do you have one of the like fancy IKEA cabinets that people have been making?
No, but I thrifted a glass cabinet. I just haven't put anything in it yet because I need to get the grow lights to like put up under it.
Mhm.
Um, but I do have like one of those old, it's a curio cabinet. I have a
Uh-huh.
curio cabinet that I got from my grandma, and I think she thought I was gonna put, like cute little figurines and
Knickknacks.
Mhm.
important stuff in it, and now it's just
Small
full
like
of
ceramic
plants.
bells.
Yes, there are no ceramic caps in there. It's just plants. And so, but they love that. Like, and my
Mhm.
best work I have done, my best allocations, I guess, I actually bought like a weird little closed container and I just keep
Mhm.
it filled up with little water in the bottom and I leave
Mhm.
them in there. And I know you're not supposed to leave them in water, but they really like it. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
There's a lot of plants that if you follow the recommendations online, you're just kinda like, you do that and then you kill them and then you keep killing them and then one day you just don't, whether it's on accident or you're like, "I just wanna try it, I'm gonna kill it anyways," and then it lives and you're like, "What?
Why is it?
Yes.
Why is it
What?"
living?
Yeah.
That's the famous Sherry Dutton, plants don't read the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plants don't read books.
Shout out
So,
Sherry.
Sometimes they
just a
just live.
reminder to people.
I always found it like offensive when I would like go to Florida and there's all these orchids or terrestrial or non-terrestrial orchids that just live in ditches or in trees, and I'm like, how offensive, how rude that I've been trying to grow this whatever bird of Eureka paradise, South America, and here it is growing on the ditch in
A weed.
southern Florida, a
Yeah,
weed.
some road
How
co- ro-
rude.
road maintenance people come
Staghorn
out and just
ferns.
spray it with
Yes,
Roundup.
staghorn that are so beautiful and just hanging there majestically, and I'm like, total fail. Total
Mhm.
fail.
Yeah, I
I don't
remember
know.
Rick Besson talking about climbing trees and getting orchids out. It's like,
Oh yeah.
all right, bud.
Yeah, public lands acquisition.
Shipping them back.
In
Making some money.
Oh yeah, that's super cool.
in the world of bonsai, people who like there's certain things we can grow here that can't really grow further north, and vice versa, and they refer to it as zone envy.
Mm-hmm.
That you have this like, I
Yeah.
really wish that I could grow it, here, or whatever. Of course, with houseplants, it's a little different because we bring them inside, but
Yeah, on the topic of bonsai, so whenever I took my boyfriend along with me unwillingly on the houseplant journey, he went the bonsai route. And so do you leave yours like outside all year round?
I do, but I have only hardy species. By the way, this guy sounds really cool. I would husband him up. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Because the
Lock that
bonsai
down.
world is. Yeah. So I have only species that would be hardy here outside in the ground, and
Okay.
I do leave them generally outside. If it gets really really cold and stays that way, I'll sometimes protect them a little bit. But in general, yeah, they stay outside most of the year.
Awesome.
My next bonsai question: have you been in any of the bonsai group? Oh my goodness!
Oh yes.
Facebook groups, because I have been eaten alive in there.
It was probably Brett.
Hopefully not by me.
I don't know. I think I would recognize your name and would have been like, "Are you kidding me?" But no.
He came on the show with one purpose in mind.
Excuse
Revenge.
me.
Print out of all
No.
my.
Payback. She's like, this is
You're
payback.
gonna be here today. I got some stuff we need to talk about.
Airing of
But I mean,
grievances starts at
Speaking
32
of
minutes and 32
bonsai.
seconds.
I have never seen as much drama in a Facebook group as in a bonsai group. And I mean, like, they were eating me alive until I was, we're at like surface level knowledge. And then I get in there, and when I see the beginners ask questions, I'm like, don't ask, just go Google this and delete your post before they get to you.
Some of the bigger groups have a ton of drama. Yes, I definitely agree, and I try to stay out of those. I do try to be nice to people on the internet, and so if I see people piling on, I'll be like, well, but I mean, this is redeeming about this, or like, I think this is a good attempt, but next time you're going to need to water it. And
Occasionally, yeah.
but we do have like a Central Kentucky group, and it's generally quite positive. There's a Central Kentucky
I
one.
need to join that.
Yeah, please do. Central Kentucky Bonsai on Facebook. I'm in there. I post not super frequently, but somewhat frequently. There's also a Cincinnati area bonsai group. I'm not sure if they have a social media presence, but actually, if you know Mark Maines, the director, he's into bonsai. So he and I are gonna get a coffee sometime and talk tiny trees. But it is an interesting kind of outgrowth of similar to the houseplant stuff.
Mhm.
It's a tree. It's a tiny thing in a pot that can fit well with like apartment living or reduced mobility and all those kinds of things. And in that regard, it's been really cool. I'm very, very into it. So I would be very into talking about it more, but our audience maybe, I mean, I'll let them speak for themselves, but sometimes it's kind of like, oh yeah, bonsai, cool, man. Can we get back to the house?
Whoa.
But yeah, so yeah, I think what kind of species does he have before we move on?
So we're not professionals. And of course, there's the typical like umbrella tree, tropical ones that we got just because they're supposed to be indoor. But we also have like the junipers.
Yeah.
And we had a really expensive juniper we got that we were really proud of. And we don't know if it's dead. Like, it's brown and crispy, but I swear there's still something there.
Yeah. It just
And I
happens.
don't want
I've
any
had junipers
opinions
just go
on
down, and I don't
that.
understand why. And they're right next to one that got the exact same treatment, and they just go down, and
Yes.
you
All
don't
the
know
other
why.
ones are alive except the expensive one, and I think it knew its worth,
Yeah.
and it's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This has just been a really interesting thing as someone who's always been into like vegetables and houseplants. Bonsai is a totally different thing where you have to start from ground zero learning
It
about and
kind of
like
feels like a lot of things about bonsai, like, I mean, they're obviously it's a plant, like there's some rules that are true, but then you really get into it and it's like the opposite of what we tell
yes,
people for
Yeah.
normal plant care. And
yes,
it like it takes rewiring of my brain to do that, like all the root pruning and just like when you prune,
yes,
and it's just kind of some of those things
Cutting in the middle of a
feel,
leaf.
Yeah.
it's like exact opposite,
Indiscriminately.
and
Yeah.
I'm
Truly
blown
wild.
away by it. Yeah.
One of the leaders of North American bonsai refers to, and it's something he's heard before that he had passed on, refers to that there is a rickety bridge between bonsai and horticulture. There's
That
connection,
feels
but
right.
it is not a tight connection. There's some
It's
things
not
that
an
are
easy trek
kind of crazy,
across.
and
It's more
and
about
at the same
breaking the
time, there's things you can
rules.
learn about
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pruning and thinking about that stuff. So we talked about nah house plants. What about like ones that you wish, if either because of the care or because they're cool, like the ones that are just a little maybe underappreciated that you'd like to see more people get into or give a try to?
My always top pick will be philodendrons. There's so many different ones,
Mhm.
and I didn't even realize it until I started getting on the Facebook plant sales.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not allowed. I'm blacklisted from that. I can't take any more children from the Facebook sales. But because they'll just sell a cutting for like $2 and then it turns into a big plant. So
Yeah.
but the philodendrons, I mean, there's so many different things, and they're all
Mhm.
pretty easy to take care of, in my opinion, which, I mean, some of mine, they don't even see me for like weeks, and they have new leaves everywhere. I think it's a tripartinum or some, I don't know how to
One of
pronounce
the
it, but that's
variegated
my
ones or something.
favorite.
The tripart mission of the extension or the land grant institution.
Different thing altogether.
Oh,
Different
sorry, my
plant.
programming kicked
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
The
Automatically.
philodendron, you're saying the species is a try something?
Yes, it is a
Okay.
try something. I wish I had the name, I can't think of it, but it has like 3 little leaves, but there's so many, and then there's also just so many
Tripartitum.
different ones. Yes, tripartitum. That one is my favorite, and also I have one called a mottled dragon that I bought just because it was fun sounding, and it turned
Mhm.
out to be one of my favorites as well. So
How what's your vibe on, like, just your personal vibe on, especially during COVID, we saw these like cuttings of, different, pink princess and all of these variegated ones that were going for like thousands of dollars, and they're still expensive. I mean, you can get them now a lot more easily. I mean, even places like Lowe's carry some of those that have come, off patent, or they're still in patent but they're mass produced now, but they're still really expensive. Like what's your vibe on that?
So personally, I don't go over like $20 to $30 for
Mhm.
anything because, of course, unless it's like a huge house plant, because of course that price is going to drop. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
it by the time when I first joined. I'm in the group called Houseplants of Lexington. That's where I buy like a lot of my houseplants from the people in there. And I mean, when I first joined, it was like a Thai constellation Monstera. They were
Yeah.
going for like $100 a cutting, and I was like,
Yeah,
they're
an unrooted cutting, like
Of a
unrooted,
Monstera. Yeah.
literally.
you
Sometimes
don't
it's
even know if
just
it's
a
gonna root.
node. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, node,
Gambling for houseplant
$50.
people.
I got it out of the
Yeah,
back of a van on Facebook. What could go wrong?
So
yeah, no,
have they stayed at that level? Have they stayed at that high level?
no. So I ended up
Ooh.
getting one that's like this big for $30. That's completely rooted and everything.
Mm.
And so,
Mhm.
I mean, and a pink princess I bought for $2. Mine that I have, and it's growing
Mhm.
really big now. So I just kind of wait it out. Is
Got to buy the
my
Yeah.
buy the dip, buy the
theory.
dip, as they say in the trading world.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, I
that.
think for plants, like, that makes sense. Yeah, 'cause they're eventually gonna come down, or unless you really are trying to make money off of it and you buy one to, make 50 and make your money back, I guess, but, it's pretty fast. I mean, basically as fast as something roots is how quickly the market can drop.
I was gonna say it'll be basically like worthless by the time you actually get it established. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't bank on that one.
Have you
right,
all
right.
have you all heard like the historic story of like the tulip bubble in Holland,
Mhm.
where there were certain varieties of tulips that got more and more popular and more and more popular and more valuable, and it got to the point where like one bulb was traded for like
A
five
house.
cows and four hogs and a bushel of multiple bushels of wheat and all this blah 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 blah, and then they were like, hold up, bubble burst, and then the whole thing kind of fell apart. Some people have likened that to like the crypto world or the dot-com bubble or whatever.
Mhm.
But it just made me think of the same kind of bubble. The houseplant bubble burst maybe in 2021 or
Anything that can be
2022.
propagated easily only has
Yeah.
a very small shelf life, and I know there's patents, and you can't, like, obviously grow those things and propagate them and sell them yourself. But I mean, that's a short shelf life sort of business model, and they know that. So I guess
Mhm.
those novel cultivars or whatever that variegated this or that or double bloomed or whatever, the unique feature is, I've noticed that over time, it basically it's kind of hot and fast. Get the money and get out. Yeah.
Tulip mania, if anybody wants to look
Tulip
up that,
mania.
from the 1600s, people were still flipping out over cool looking plants.
What's wild about the tulips especially is that the breaks and those, like, the fancier ones were
Mm,
from virus. So
viruses. Yeah.
it wasn't
It
just
was
breeding,
accidental. Yeah.
it was accidental virus, which meant that those plants were gonna go down, like, right? They're not gonna continue to spread because they have a disease. So, like,
Yeah.
that's the extra, like, crazy part about it, like, where we're
It's a good
talking about
thing.
just a natural variegation that the plant will continue to, live on. These plants were virus to begin with, and so, like, they were never gonna live very
No,
long.
but they were
And that's
really novel at the time. The world had
Mhm,
never seen anything like that. I
Rich
mean, it
people
mhm.
was
love
pretty
stuff
awesome.
that goes away and is
I
silly like
mean,
that.
I like weird plants. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, any dragon form of anything, I'm gonna go for that. Or with the word dragon in it.
The
May not even be a
dragon form.
novel type. Yeah, dragon form, not water form, Brett. Dragon form.
Emma, I
No,
That's
think
right.
we got a little, like, not off track because, anything about houseplants is on track, but I wanna hear a little bit more about your grad, research and
Yeah.
kind of what that looked like.
So, basically, my project, I have about 20 videos posted currently on both pages, and they go by the same information. It's the same research based information. The only difference is in the delivery and the vibe. So, it's basically, who do people want to hear from more? Are they looking for extension stuff, or are they just looking for, some trendy person with a cat to tell them what to do? And, sometimes I understand that. I want to hear it from a cat. And so
Fun and
he's not
functional.
he's not always in the videos, but trust me, he's there holding the camera. So, yes, basically, I have the 20 videos out. It is extension summer right now, and so if you don't see me as active on there, just know I'm in the trenches. But hopefully, in the fall, we're gonna start getting some more out. But they're just edited, and I've tried to keep the content as simple yet also on more detailed stuff on all
Mhm.
levels. So there's propagation, if you're more advanced and are getting your first plants established, want to make some more. And there's also, the basic succulent care, which is for me also as an advanced person because I could not keep one alive to save my life. Um,
So are
so
you like intentionally comparing the vibes to see which one is a more effective like extension delivery format? Is that the part of the idea?
It's one of them is exclusively extension for people who are seeking out, research-based information. And although the cat account is still that same trusted research information, it's kind of more what they're wanting to see, the face in front of the camera, who's delivering their information. Are they trusting just anybody to, say this? Are you looking for a more laid back environment, kind of more laid back personality, or are you wanting more, hey, this person looks like they know
Professionalism.
what they're talking about, because two things can be true at one time. The cat, he still knows what he's talking about. He is well educated. But
Good for
On a
Pep.
on a
good
personal
stuff.
note, I sincerely hope they don't want me to be professional, because that's going to be hard for me to.
Big bill.
So do you anticipate using some of this like to inform future programming, or like tell other people like you might think about this style of programming or this style of communication instead of this? I mean, is that part of what you're anticipating?
So, my main goal of this project was kind of to show our extension educators that, hey, this is an option. People like hearing information in this way of, hey, just me getting in front of the camera, showing you how to do stuff. Because I know we have a lot of publications, but there's not as many recorded, short to the point videos. It's not a program you have to go sit through for an hour and do a hands-on activity. You can kind of just I try and keep them about a minute or less. You can just watch a 1-minute video and do it. Because a lot of the things that I do, I go watch a TikTok. Like sometimes when people ask me to do something I don't know how to do, I'm like, hey, can I just go to the bathroom real quick? I'm in there watching a TikTok, So I just go do it real quick. But that was my goal, is to be like, hey, this is also programming. This is also helping community people, as well as just getting people interested in houseplants. And I try and do a wide variety of topics. So even if you're not, diehard houseplant like the rest of us, you can start maybe, or at least pique your interest. So
That's really
I
cool. I
love
think
that.
that speaks to some of what we've tried to do with our CCD stuff, is to try to personalize it a little bit more, but it's very affirming, and maybe, even confirms for us to keep pushing in that direction. What we try to do with this podcast is have some information, but have it also be like a conversation you wouldn't mind being a part of. That's really cool.
yes.
I'm looking. So the dreaded question, is there a timeline of when you think you might be done with it, or when you hope to go and tell the deans about it, or any of that kind of fun stuff?
So I am on track to graduate in December. So the project, of course, is on the end. It's
Okay.
towards the end at least. However, I have really enjoyed this, and I plan to keep the UK account going. When we started, my advisor was like, if you want to keep this going, after the fact, that is absolutely an option. Which not both pages, of course, but one or the other, whichever one. And I do feel more strongly like the UK Houseplant Education is a better option that's getting more traction, even though we love Pep and he's doing a great job. He's just not getting the numbers, so he's gonna have to be cut. you know. But I do think this is something that I probably not as frequently, of course, as it was being posted, like 1 or 2 videos a week, but every now and then. And then there's also a group attached to that Facebook account where people can ask houseplant questions and get research-based answers, because you don't always like picking up the phone and calling your extension agent. Everything's more, straight to the point nowadays. And so I've had some activity in there as well, just people saying, hey, what do I do about this? And other people share that same experience. And so it's kind of like we're all in this together, but
Support
we're
group.
also getting right answers,
Yeah.
not just 500 different answers. So
We have a
Yeah.
whole group of people who would love to be in your videos at some point, as I am great, as you can tell, as the like dumb guy that asks questions. And we also have other smart people on our team, like Alexis and others, who would be. I mean, I love being in the videos. I love seeing what you're doing, and man, that's so cool. That's just a really. I just really like this approach of thinking about it and trying a couple of things. That's really really cool. I hope you do keep it up, and I hope that other people are supportive of it.
If you
Yeah,
wanna do any on,
absolutely.
like, string of pearls or string of hearts or any of those, I feel like I've got that one down, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I killed so
That is
many
my
in the
kryptonite.
past,
I'm
and
glad you have
I
them down.
I have successfully propagated, kept those propagations alive. I have a lot. Do you want some plants? Because I have a lot of
I
string. I have
was
a tricolored string of hearts. Do you want it?
Yes, I was gonna say my little crispy brown string of pearls is in the side of my office right now saying, "Please
Yes,
help."
I think
Take
I've
care
got it
of
at
me.
that, and I started a bunch of dragon fruit from seed from a dragon fruit I got in the grocery store. So I'm pretty proud of those too.
Okay, we'll
Alexis,
talk.
you didn't have to flex so hard.
Sorry,
Yeah,
She's
you were
ending
all
all great.
flexing.
I
I'm like,
know.
bonsai, and I
Gotcha.
needed to
Dragon
release.
fruit.
I
Yeah,
just
I
Okay,
needed to
all I
release.
really said in the bonsai was that I try to be nice to people online,
That was your
that's
first
the
Well,
way
in
mistake.
to
my world,
go.
that's a
and that
flex.
was my
So
flex. Boom.
That
I
is the
try to be
biggest flex.
nice to people.
Try to be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You might be the only bonsai person that knows how to do that from what I've gathered.
Yeah, it attracts. I don't know if houseplants seems less this way, but it attracts some of the oddest people on earth, and some of them just don't happen to come with social skills, and that
Mm.
is very apparent in some of the groups and some of the meetings and other stuff, and they just but our little Central Kentucky group is good. I hope that you'll chime in there and see stuff and
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
yeah.
excited about it because I'm looking forward to making a post and not having the first comment be, "Are you kidding me? It's dead," like, and it's a fully green plant. I posted like a green plant and they're like, "It's dead." I'm like,
Dead.
"Are you kidding me? I'm literally looking at it growing right
It's
I
making new leaves.
I was very proud. I recently in our in that not that recently, but Central Kentucky group, somebody posted a picture of his trident maple, and it had an unknown pest on it, and I ID'd it, and he was able to take care of it, and yeah, it was a Japanese maple scale on a trident maple,
Oh,
so that
okay,
was
you
pretty
need to
cool.
Mm.
lead with that. A hard one to ID. Good for
Yeah,
you.
it was fun. I mean, and it like I don't know. If anything, it's just a little under. Like you aren't going to get a bunch of negative stuff. You may not get as much traction as you want, but I'll certainly be in there being like, "Yeah, Emma, get him."
Yeah,
Woo! Go, girl.
Woo!
He is
yeah.
a very good hype man, so I will say that. He is excellent hype man. So
Right, man.
if you just
Bringing the
need somebody in
energy.
your videos in the background going, "You go, Emma!" Like
Yeah.
Brett's your man.
It's the Pep and Brett production crew. They're just back there kind of.
Like
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
talking about a pothos and he's in the background going,
Mm.
"Pothos!" Like
Peace
that's
out,
Whoa.
peace, Lily.
I've seen a lot of pathos in my time, but that's a pathos.
Yeah.
That's a heart-shaped pothos. I can watch it grow from here.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe. Awesome. Well, Emma, remind us again how people can find your page and learn all of the cool things from you, the best way to find you.
Okay, so the Facebook is University of Kentucky Houseplant Education. There's a cute little graphic that I made on Canva all by myself on there, so you can look at that. And also, there is an Instagram that is a
Mhm.
little touch less active because I'm Facebook to the core, off the record. But the Instagram is UKY Houseplant Education.
Perfect. We'll tag you in our post about this. So if you do have any photos you want to share, maybe a plant you're super proud of, or if you want to share a video, we'd love to put it on our Instagram as well, so people can get a little see a little bit what they're in for with your education.
Yeah.
So
Any pep bloopers maybe?
pet bloopers
There's
are
so
very welcome.
many.
It
Yes,
needs to
he
be called
actually he's
Pep Talk.
holding the camera and screaming the whole time. So yeah, there's a lot of bloopers.
I'm gonna
Save
need
me.
that one specifically. Just like
Save
please
me.
text me.
Save me. The phone is glued to my paws.
Yeah,
Yes.
so awesome. If you guys are interested in learning more about houseplants, I can tell you as a houseplant junkie, I have learned stuff from Emma's page, and it's fun and awesome. So highly recommend going to check that one out. You can follow us on Instagram as well at Hort UKY Hort Culture. I forgot our Instagram.
Hort Culture podcast.
Thank you. Hort Culture podcast. I blanked. I was so excited about Emma's. You can find us on there. You can also shoot us an email. You can find that in the show notes. We do have a new Gmail. So if you've been using our old one, make sure you're using the new Gmail one these days. And that comes to all of us. So if you've got questions, if you're like, I cannot find Emma's page, can you send it to me? We can absolutely do that. And we appreciate you guys being here. And we hope that as we grow this podcast, you will grow with us. We'll see you next time.